Yungblud with the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm actually very curious to hear how Billy Corgan and Yungblud are going to blend. This should be interesting. And wow, is Yungblud making the rounds with timeless artists. Let's see what we got. It's great to have that visual of them both being on guitar as well as vocals.
If I was to talk about the words, they would hurt. They would hurt.
The amount of compression that they have on Dom's voice is actually quite pleasing, where you hear every little release and breath in, even though you wouldn't normally hear that, even if he was just talking to you. It's like he's right here, whispering or talking to you in a very intimate way. Like, that's not a prominent breath. It's not a lot of noise on that intake, but you still hear it. Oh, really draws you in, makes you pay attention.
To ask about the pain, I would lie.
I like the breathy sound he's got. And the signal chain is helping that be really consistent and still up front, even though it's probably quite quiet.
To fix my mind.
Do you hear how he was able to be right here and then going all out in dynamics? And we don't hear a proximity change with his voice at all. That is fantastic. Ace vocal production there. Sounds fantastic. Now, I'm just going to call it out right here because there's lots of people thinking about it. Yes, there's tuning on his voice. I don't know now that I've heard him without tuning. Do I like it? I don't prefer voices with tuning. I know this guy can carry a tune. I don't know why they insist on using it so prominently in his voice, but it doesn't really matter. My opinion in this case doesn't matter. I'm not going to let it bother me because there are lots of things I already enjoy. I will say, though, Idols, his recent album, listening to that from start to finish, hearing the autotune over time did great on me. I really would like to hear the nuances of his voice unaffected by artificial pitch manipulation, especially in this genre. All right, hearing Billy Corgan with tuning, that is new.
Yeah, what is last? 'Cause the world is just a figment of the thoughts I
Yeah, so you can hear part of the charm of Billy Corgan's voice that we've gotten to know over the years is he's got this very brash placement, right? It's a nasal placement, twangy and pingy all over. But the other thing, if you go and you listen to the 90s era Smashing Pumpkins, when he has a vibrato, we hear his pitch falter a little bit, not in a bad way, it's in a charming way, but he tends to approach notes up to a pitch and then fall off of them in a way that it's a unique footprint to his voice. And we're actually missing that here because of the way that the voice is tuned. Listen to this vibrato. Figment. It hit the note right there. We would hear him more slowly approach that pitch from either the top or the bottom. Figments, in addition to that brash sound. And that gives us this kind of like, this guy's a snake. This voice is really unique sound. We've lost some of that uniqueness because the pitch manipulation is going, it's putting it right there. We don't have that pitch onset from above, which it sounds like it was slightly above and then he centered on the pitch, but the pitch manipulation grabbed it and put it there right away. We're robbed of that experience of his authentic vocal. And then, so what I just did there as I was going into vibrato, you can actually hear me. If you graphed what I just did, you would actually hear or see my pitch go flat with that vibrato trail. Instead, what we heard is the tuning hold it to that pitch and it messed with the formant. So you have this sort of strange sound happening in the midst of the vibrato. The vibrato actually sounds somewhat artificial. It's not the vibrato that's artificial. It's that the note was supposed to trail downwards slightly and the pitch correction didn't let it. I said I wasn't going to let it bother me, and it didn't so much with Yungblud, but it is here because I'm so used to hearing Billy Corgan without tuning. It would be kind of like, for me, if all of a sudden I had to go back and listen to Super Unknown, Soundgarden Super Unknown, and Chris Cornell, and they'd auto-tuned it, or something with Freddie Mercury auto-tuned, or Michael Jackson auto-tuned. Like, it's not how I'm used to it. If you would like help learning how to connect with and create amazing things with your own voice in an authentic, non-judgmental way, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course. I'll teach you how to pull from your inspirations, even if they are using tuning, and put things in your own voice you never thought possible.
They don't care.
Here it again, care.
So say your prayers. You're almost there, but it's running now. It's running.
Okay, listening here.
But it's running now.
Now that note, running. He did that beautiful thing that we've heard him do. So they may have left that note alone. Running out. I liked that brashness of that. But then you hear, as they're building the rest of it, everything is very gridded pitch-wise. It sounds more sterile.
But it's running now. It's running. Oh, I know that I couldn't live without you. But this world keeps turning if you just
Yeah, I mean, what are we missing by always hearing Yungblud tuned? What kinds of things, like I just said about Billy Corgan, listening to him back in the 90s, there are these quirks and these traits that only he has by the way he approaches pitch and placement and all those things. And those are masked. We've never had the opportunity to hear this wonderful voice without that film over it.
Would you even want me? Looking like a zombie. Would you even want me? Want me? Want me?
I like that harmony stack.
Would you even want me? Looking like a zombie. Would you
wonderful grit that he got up there on that note. That was awesome. Approaching his breaking point and leaning into the fact that his voice is about to fall apart instead of shying away from it. It's a great wall of sound and a great song. I think the tuning topic is a really important one, especially as we get more and more AI-infused music and more of these tools are used sort of secretly. And I know that some genres thrive with tuning on them all the time. And I think in those genres, it's more widely accepted and it's not as bothersome to fans listening to it. I think that there's this oil-water thing that happens when we get into rock and roll, when we get into music that is connected to music that hasn't had that stuff. And so it feels extra artificial. It's really no more artificial. It's just that it's being used in a way that doesn't resonate or doesn't fit. But I got to say, I get really tired of all the internet noise of, comments or whatever made about like, oh, that person was singing and he used autotune. And so the whole world is going to explode and that artist is terrible. And people get completely written off because there's something that may or may not even be their choice put on their voice. There's trolling and there's mass complaining. And then there's something that I believe is far more productive where we actually turn it back on ourselves. And we think about this from our own, not only preferences, but what we do with our own creation and our own art. What does this mean for my voice? What does this mean for the songs that I make? Not just the songs I listen to. If I feel a certain way when listening to something that's been over artificially manipulated and it doesn't hit me in a way that I hope, then when I'm creating my own art, I should keep that in mind. I should just sing this until I get it right. I should practice this. I should let it be more raw because that's what I want to hear. As a fan, I should be making stuff with my own voice that I want to hear. And that will determine how I use these tools, if I do at all. I really enjoy both of these artists for different reasons. And I'm glad that they're doing a collaboration. And I think the production, for the most part, was really amazing. And even though I said I wasn't going to let it bother me, I clearly did. I really wish that we could hear something more transparent with their voices on this particular recording. And I heard it here right away, especially on Billy's voice, because of how I'm used to hearing his voice. Be sure to check out this playlist of other Yungblud vocal analysis videos that I've done. I'm sure you will enjoy it. We'll see you for more.